Hello! So this is the Casuals Guide for UFC Vegas 86. It's headlined by Tai Tuivasa and Marcin Tybura. Very interesting fight. There's a few more interesting fights on there as well. There's one underdog that I've taken for some reason. I don't really know why because, he's a really big underdog. So I think I might miss something on Natan Levy. But I'll stick with my convictions. I never look at the odds before I make my picks based on my research. Sometimes it goes well, sometimes not so well. But either way, this video is just to go through every fighter from the earliest prelim to the main event so that you get more information so that when you watch the fight card, you know more about it and you get maximum enjoyment out of that fight card. And also, I like to put down some terrible bets as well, but they are on a separate video. So as always, if you could subscribe and without further ado, Casuals Guide for UFC Vegas 86. Right, let's get started with the bantamweights. We've got Charalampos Gregoriou taking on Chad Anheliga. I don't know if I'm saying them right. Either way, bantamweights. You've got Grigori is actually he's 8-3. He's not 1-0. I don't know why they say he's 1-0. Anyway, he got 8 wins in various different promotions, 6 knockouts on those 8 wins, and he got a very big first round knockout on the Dana White Contender Series, which is why he is here now. Anheliga, he's lost 6 times by submission. That's not brilliant. His knockout rate's not bad. 7 on 12 wins. He's also quite old though, 37 for a bantamweight. That's not great. Smart money is on the younger guy here by knockout, and that is where I'm going. Then you've got Thiago Moises against Mitch Ramirez. Now, Moises, he's a bit of a veteran. He's very, very good actually. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and he's very, very good with his MMA grappling. He gets a lot of submissions. 8 wins by submission on 8 submissions on 17 wins. Ramirez is 8-1. He's got very good hands. He's got again. He's another one. He got a knockout in the Dana White Contender Series, but then got another knockout. No. He got knocked out on the Contender Series. That's right. I remember. Sorry, referring to my notes. He then got a knockout in the LFA, and now he's back. So we're going to see what he's like against real UFC competition. I think Thiago Moises is a very difficult first UFC opponent, if I'm totally honest. I'm going to lean towards Moises in that one by submission. Then you've got Jacqueline Amorim taking on Corey McKenna out of Wales, so the Brazilian against the Welsh girl here. Now, Amorim, I'm a big fan of Amorim, not just because of her fighting. She's very, very good, but she's also very pretty. Not that that's a criteria for a fighter. I mean, you're not allowed to objectify people anymore. Oh, screw it. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say I think she's hot as hell. Sue me. Savage grappler as well. She's got excellent ground and pound. Her elbows, from top position, are really, really nasty, actually. Now, McKenna, fighting out of Wales. I've not seen very much of her, actually, but she does fight out of Team Alpha Male. So she's not been stopped yet. She's quite tough. Her 2 losses are both decisions. I quite like Amorim here. I think on paper, she's probably just got slightly more ways to win it. I'm going to go with a decision, though. I'm going to take Amorim by decision in that one. Then you've got the male featherweights, Josh Culibao out of Australia, and against Danny Silva, Silva, American, not Brazilian, apparently. That must be a Brazilian name. But either way, the Aussie Culibao, he's a decent stand-up fighter. He does have a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but he does tend to prefer to stand. His only UFC losses are actually to Jalen Turner and Murphy. Look, so honestly, those 2 are not terrible losses, if I'm totally honest. I think Culibao is way better than his record suggests. Then you've got Danny Silva, again, American, not Brazilian, which is, it must be a Brazilian name, though. I don't know. Either way, I'm getting hung up on the name too much. He's 8-1. Mostly, he's been fighting in the LFA, 5 out of 8 by knockout. And yeah, he usually gets it done with punches. That's usually how he gets those knockouts. Now, I think Culibao, he might be slightly more well-rounded in this one, maybe with more ways to win. So for that reason, I am going to go with the Australian in this one. Most likely a decision, I would think. Then you've got Rafael Filho against Ode Osborne. Now, Filho, the pastor, his name is, he's a very dangerous grappler out of Brazil, basically. If you take a look at him, I don't know what grade he is in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I'm going to lean towards black belt because he's got 9 submissions on 15 wins. He's got 5 knockouts as well. Do you know what I mean? He's actually a real finisher. For flyweights, for 125 pounds, it's rare to see somebody with a finish rate like that. That's very, very impressive. Ode Osborne, he's a very flamboyant striker out of Jamaica. He cuts very weird angles. He throws a lot of flying knees, a lot of spectacular kind of techniques, and he is very, very fun to watch. But I think Filho, for me, probably is the slightly better fundamental striker, and his grappling is going to be way better. For that reason, I'm going to go Filho by submission in that one. Then you've got Josiana Nunes against Chelsea Chandler. Now, Nunes is an absolute savage striker. Absolutely love watching her. Right? She's got the way that she's just built to throw hands over the top. And man, when she lands them, like they are nasty. And she's just very fun to watch, honestly. Then you've got Chelsea Chandler. She's a very good grappler. She's a Cesar Gracie purple belt. But standing, I don't know if she's going to be on Nunes's level. And because she's taller, she's only got a 1-inch reach. I think that plays right into Nunes's game plan of throwing big punches over the top. Chandler's very tough to finish, though. She's never been finished. I'm going to say Nunes by decision in that one. Then you have got the gentleman lightweights. You've got Natan Levy from Israel taking on Mike Davis. Now, Levy, he's a karate base. He's got that kind of in and out kind of style, but he does throw with a fair amount of power. His grappling is actually pretty good as well. He's got 3 subs, no knockouts. That's if somebody prefers to stand up. That's never a good sign, especially at lightweight. Lightweight, they carry a bit more power. Now, Davis, he's a boxer. He's got very good knockout rate, 7 out of 10 by knockouts. He does tend to finish fights. I'm stupidly going with Levy here. I think that, I don't know, he might be able to control his way to a decision win. I don't think it'll be spectacular, but I think that Natan Levy might grind it out. Now, that is the prelims. So, obviously, now moving on to the main card. Just don't forget to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Main card kicks off with Gerald Meerschaert, GM3 against Brian Bam Bam Barberena. Now, this is a very, very good fight because GM3, he's a grizzled veteran. He's grizzled. He's a veteran. He's very, very good. He's got fantastic submissions. The man has, 27 career submissions. 27. You don't get that by being bad at submission. When he gets hold of a neck, it's more or less over. He also has deceptive power. Don't forget that he did knock down Bruno Silva. And Bruno Silva's an excellent kickboxer, but GM3 caught him. He's got a very good, deceptively powerful left hook, honestly. Very good. He's got good basics. His fundamentals are quite solid, honestly. Barberena, he's an absolute warrior, absolute savage, last of a dying breed, honestly. He's similar in a lot of ways to your Taito Ivasas in the main event, in that he's an old school. If he wasn't in the UFC, he's going to be working a door somewhere. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of fighter that he is. He bites down the mouthpiece and he just throws down. Fight of the night potential, this one. Really is. I like Meerschaert for this one. I think he takes the submission. I don't think that I think he's going to stand with Barberena long enough to kind of get it down to the ground. Once he grabs hold of a neck, it's over. Bam Bam has been caught in submissions, more than a couple of times now. So, yeah, for me, I think submission for Gerald Meerschaert. And, yeah. So then we've got the women's bantamweights. We've got Penny Kainzad? I don't know how to say it. Macy Chason is her opponent. And yeah, Kainzad, she's a shoot fighting kind of style out of Sweden. She's good all rounder, doesn't usually get the finish. A lot of decisions on that record. Similar to Macy Chason, actually. Macy Chason, these two are very similar to each other in that they usually grind out the wins, not too spectacular, but on paper, this was very, very close. I'm going to take Chason here. But it's a coin toss because who knows? Frankly, who cares? It's going to be a decision either way. I don't see this one being too spectacular, but I mean they're both good. They just don't often have very entertaining fights, and I'm here to be entertained. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. You know what I mean? Anyway, then you move on to Christian Rodriguez against Isaac Dolgarian. Now, this is one that I am really looking forward to. Rodriguez, they call him C-Rod, so I will do the same. He's a very good all-round threat. He really is. He's got good submissions. He's got a couple of anaconda chokes and arm bars on his record. He's got very good ground and pound as well. He's clearly very accomplished in the MMA grappling, and yeah, he's going to be dangerous. Whenever he gets top position. Now, Bulgarian, he's undefeated as a pro. That's important, right? He favours the striking, but his grappling is actually really good. I'm going to go with the Midwest chopper. That's what they call Bulgarian in this one. I think he's just very dangerous. He really is. I think it's going to be a knockout for me. If I had to pick a method, it's a knockout for Bulgarian in that one. Then you've got Ovince St. Preux against Kennedy Njekwu. Yeah, I mean, Ovince St. Preux is still going. I'm as surprised as you are, guys. I really am. Christ. He's back at 205, though. He had a bit of a go at heavyweight, and that didn't go brilliant. Ovince St. Preux is frustrating, right? He's got all the tools. He's a physical specimen. He's got really good submissions. He uses that Von Flute choke so well. He's got good striking, but a lot of the times he just doesn't turn up, and for that reason he's never really fulfilled the potential that he had. It is annoying. 26 and 17, he should have been doing better than that. Njekwu, he's a dangerous guy. He really is. He fights very long. He's a very good kickboxer. He throws knees up the middle really, really well. Knees and elbows, that's where I think this one's going. I think that Njekwu gets ISP against the fence, tees off on him with knees and elbows. I'll take the knockout in that one. Then you have got the co-main event of the evening. Brian Battle against Angie Lusa. Yeah, this one's going to be a good one at the welterweight battle. So Brian Battle, he used to fight heavyweight, if you can believe it. He now cuts down to 170 pounds, which is a much better weight class for him. He's only 6'1". I say only 6'1". That's a good height for a welterweight, to be fair. He's extremely good in the clinch. He's very, very good in the clinch. When he gets in the clinch, he tends to use the knees and elbows, similar to Njekwu, actually. He's very, very good there. He fights long really well. He's got very good submissions, deceptive power, and very, very good chokes. If he gets a hold of a choke, then it's very, very difficult to get him on. Now, Lusa, he's an athletic monster. He really is. Look at the state of him. He's massive. He's very athletic. He stays standing. He's got very big power, but he is giving up a good few inches. 3 inches in reach there, and he's giving up a fair bit of height as well. I think he's going to struggle with that against Brian Battle, if I'm totally honest. Now, I like Battle here. He fights long very well. He's got sneaky submissions. I think he has more ways to win, and I think as long as he kind of stays away from that early power from Angie Lusa, he's probably going to get the decision in that one. Then you've got Tai Tuivasa against Marcin Tybura at the main event. This is a very good main event, actually, in the heavyweight division. Australia versus Poland. Now, Tuivasa, he's one of the, again, similar to Brian Barberena, they both got the same nickname as well. I think they're both called Bam Bam. And Bam Bam is right. Like, again, this is a guy who, if he wasn't in the UFC, he would be working a door somewhere, just getting into fights on a Saturday night. He is an old school fighter. He's just he's a technical brawler, though, is what I would say. Look, I'm not saying he hasn't got technical boxing. He sets up his combinations really well. His hands are much faster than you think they're going to be. He's very, very dangerous. The last time he was on a 3-fight skid, he then went on like a run of 4 or 5 knockouts. So he's now on a 3-fight skid. Tybura is probably a slightly better level of competition for him. Tuivasa, it's no secret what he's going to do. He's not shooting him for double legs. He's not trying to go down and submit you. He wants to draw you into a dogfight and knock you out, knock that mouthpiece flying. That's what Tuivasa is trying to do. Now, Marcin Tybura, he has a few more different ways to get it done. I do think he's the slightly more well-rounded of the two. I don't think I'm out of my mind in saying that. Tybura is very, very tough, and he's deceptively good, and he's made kind of a career of stopping some of these young upstarts. Not Tuivasa isn't that. Tuivasa is already an established name in this division. Make no mistake about that. But he has stopped the likes, Greg Hardy, but we all kind of knew he was going to do that. But I was surprised when he stopped Alexander Romanov. That was a good one. Tybura, he's very good with the ground and pound from the top, especially from half guard top. Actually, half guard top. Like Tybura is a monster. If he gets Tai Tuivasa on his back and keeps him in half guard top, he could easily just beat him up until Tuivasa doesn't want to be there anymore. However, I would say that Tybura, whilst he's got power, and all heavyweights are capable of knocking each other out, that goes without saying, but he doesn't have the same stopping power that Tuivasa does. And he doesn't have the same stopping power that the guys that have been stopping Tuivasa does. I mean, don't forget, Tuivasa drew Ciryl Gane into an absolute dogfight, and it was only near the end that the Gane managed to overwhelm him a little bit. But outside of that, Tuivasa was looking really dangerous. I think Tuivasa puts together a good performance here. As long as he stays off the ground, I like Tuivasa by knockout in this one. I think if he draws Tybura into a striking match, Tuivasa is going to knock his mouthguard flying, and we'll see a vintage Tuivasa performance that he can then build on to try and work his way back to maybe a title fight at some point. But either way, that is all of them. My terrible bets are also on the channel, so check out the channel, subscribe, like, all that stuff. And until next time, keep those odds long and those bets terrible.